Well, hello. This is Laura coming to you with another short video. In today's video, we're going to wrap up the series entitled Evil Intentions. This is part number 2, the last video to this series. And we're going to connect the dots as far as a person with evil intentions and how this connects to the behavioral characteristics exhibited by someone that participates in gang stalking. And we know that gang stalking, a lot of us didn't agree, but I truly believe that it is a form of evil. I don't believe that you can not have an evil, wicked, dark heart and willingly participate in such activity. One word that I left out when describing evil on the previous video was the word diabolical. Diabolical. I think this word really sums up gang stalking. It is a very diabolical activity. Diabolical is, extreme evilness, and I don't know, how much more extreme evil can be. But to participate in such activities, I think we can sum it up as a diabolical act. And so in the previous video, we talked about, evilness being a psychological and spiritual illness, a human condition, and how it inflicts psychological and spiritual trauma on its victims. And so today we're going to see how evil intentions, how it compares and contrasts with what the Word has to say about the behaviors of men in the last days, in which the Bible talks about perilous times. And let's see how all of this connects to gang stalking. And then we will go into some of the traits. And I guarantee you some of the traits that's listed, you will find them in what the Word describes as, the evil behaviors in the last days. And so I'm going to be reading to you from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. And it says this. Now listen closely to the descriptions of the evil that is to take place in the last days during these perilous times that shall come. And let's see if you connect the dots with the behavior of gang stalking. So listen to this. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection." That sounds like a behavior exhibited by a gang stalker. Truce breakers. Now that's a big one. False accusers. That to me is the main tactic as far as how gang stalkers are able to accomplish the destruction of an individual's life on all levels. False accusers. Incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. As we discussed earlier in the previous video and some of the comments, there's no justifiable reason for anyone to be on the receiving end of gang stalking. A lot of these are innocent victims, innocent people, Let's go on. Despisers of those that are good. And verse number 4 goes on to say traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. The Bible says that we can't serve two masters. We're either going to love one and hate the other. So let me pose this question to you. Who do you think gang stalkers are serving? What God do you think they're serving? What God is the gang stalker serving? Verse number 5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So I read to you 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. So let's go on to see how this compares to characteristics and traits of someone with evil intentions. And I found some of these traits on awesomejelly.com, in which this person had written a blog of 30 ways to identify that you are dealing with an evil person. And I don't want to discuss all 30, so I pulled out about 23 of the most important ones that connect with behaviors of gang stalking. And I left off on number 11, and we're going to pick up on number 12 today, which is they may live double lives. Do you think that gang stalkers live a double life? I'm certain that they do. Do you really think that they want their family members, the people that they work for, do you think they want them to know that they're participating in such behaviors? You know, they're able to appear, to be community activists and advocates and to care about the community and to care about different issues in the community. You may even see them out volunteering. You may even see them performing philanthropic acts, but they wear a double hat. Let's take, for instance, what's going on in Hollywood. At one point in time, Hollywood was the standard. They were the stuff. They set the standards for everyone, how we should behave, how we should dress, how we should act. They set the tone for society. And now as Hollywood crumbles and the evils thereof are being exposed, we know that all of it was just an act. We know that some of the movers and shakers in Hollywood, they led a double life. They appear to be normal, to follow society rules and expectations. Hardworking, dedicated, appear to be helping others. But then behind the scenes, we hear about them raping women, participating in sex trafficking and sleeping with young girls, taking advantage of the weaknesses of both men and women, inappropriate behavior towards both men and women, and seeking to impress upon, those who didn't know any better or those who were trying to make it and do the right thing, that they would have to do certain things in order to make it. If you want to be a part of this movie, then you will have to perform this act. So that there is an example of living, a double life. Number 13, a sense of entitlement. When we compare that to what the word has to say, it says lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures. Number 14, you can never consider a gang stalker a real friend. That's just not in them to be a real friend to anyone. I think there's a disconnect between themselves. I think anytime you can live this type of a double life, there has to be some sort of a disconnect in the mind and in the heart, and in the morals and the values, the moral fabric of this person, to behave one way publicly and to behave another way behind closed doors. There's got to be a disconnect. So how can you be a real friend to someone else if you can't be a real friend to yourself, if you're willing to involve yourself in sabotage, backstabbing, and also undermining? Number 15, you can never trust them. Again, that connects with traitors, heady, high-minded, without natural affection, false accusers, truce breakers. You see how we can connect the dots with this? They're good at faking. Number 16. Number 17, very deceitful, which involves also very high levels of jealousy and being judgmental. They can dish out the judgment, but they can't receive it. 18, having no remorse. I don't think I've ever encountered anyone who's ever participated in gang stalking activities showing any type of remorse at all. The only time they may show remorse is when they're caught, when they're exposed. And even then, some of them never show any true remorse. And how can you show remorse when, hey, it's everybody else's fault? You're the blame. You caused me to behave this way. If you didn't do this, I wouldn't do this. That type of behavior, that type of thinking will never lead to remorse. Number 19, believing that the world revolves around them. Extreme selfishness, all about self, all about forwarding self's agenda, all about, gaining for self, for selfish reasons, selfish needs. Never really too much of a care about anyone else. Able to fake it until they make it, but never really caring about the people that they're involved in. Number 20, there's always an ulterior motive with every act of kindness. Like I said, they may be activists in the community, in places of leadership, high-powered positions, but there's always, whenever there's an act of kindness, whenever they're good to you, it's never just out of the goodness of the heart. There's always a check mark. There's always a keeping of tabs. They want something from you. And sometimes you may only hear from these people when they want something from you, And then when they appear on the scenes, their goodness is very limited. They never give 100% to anything. They may give 40 or 50. They hold back because their hearts are not really in it. Number 21, a big identifier of someone with evil intentions. They have tons of enemies. They're always burning bridges for no reason. There's always a beef with someone. They're even, with gang stalkers, they pick on people, innocent victims, for no reason. They're very into causing dissension and division. They're able to work their ways into work themselves into the lives or into organizations, into groups of friends, into a family. And the intentions are never good. It's to cause division. Whenever division and dissension shows up, evil has come into the midst. They're able to get in and, act normal. You'll never see it coming. But they're able to work their magic and cause divisiveness, have everyone looking at each other sideways, distrusting one another. They're able to get in and turn employee against employer, siblings against siblings, parents against children and children against parents. They're able to divide the best of friends. They're able to come in and divide, I've seen entire churches crumble from someone with this spirit, this diabolical spirit, getting into the organization. They always make sure when they get into an organization that they head straight for the leader. It's always, but if they can hit the head, then the rest of the body will scatter. If they can cause the leader to fall, then everyone else, the sheep, will scatter. And so churches, organizations, families crumble when this diabolical spirit is in the midst. Also, number 22, very hateful, and 23, unreliable. How can you rely on a person whose intentions were never with you in the first place, when they were never really fully engulfed or had the best intentions at heart for getting involved or for any project? And so this here, if you connect the dots, you will see that this here is the main layout, the main frame, the main mode of operation for gang stalkers. And so what can we as targeted individuals, as enlightened and awakened individuals, what can we do to protect ourselves? Well, the first thing is to pray and to believe. I find myself asking daily in my prayer for me to be delivered from the evil one. which is this gang stalking diabolical spirit. Also, we have to make sure that we look at Psalms 91 and ask to be hidden in the secret place of the Most High, so that evil will not be able to pick us up on its radar. You know, they're always sniffing out to see who, you know, evil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And it walks about as a roaring lion, seeking who it may devour. And so we have to pray and ask that, you know, that we're hidden and covered so that we won't be picked up on the radar. And we just must continue to bring about awareness and education and stand up and speak out against this evil. And so I'm going to wrap the video up at this point. If you enjoy the content of my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. If you have any other traits or characteristics of evil intentions that you would like to add, please leave it in the comment sections below. If you have any type of commentary, if you agree or disagree with this view, please leave it in the comment section below. I enjoy your comments. And as always, until we meet again, bye-bye, my friends.